Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And in this video, I will also give you a hot take for T-Mobile for 2024. What you're seeing on screen is a placeholder, an article from August, a bit older. It's about T-Mobile expanding its 5G network in Pennsylvania. This is from Yahoo Finance. Check it out if you haven't seen it. So my hot take will be for 2024. In my opinion, again, I'm speculating. This is all my opinion. I feel T-Mobile will definitely improve their reliability on the network before Verizon figures out how to stop their bleeding and gain momentum on the consumer side. And and when I say T-Mobile improving their reliability, I mean materially scaling backup generators to sites. Even though those sites haven't gone down, there hasn't been any power outage in parts of the country, they still need to be at the towers. Just in case there is a storm, there is an outage, the backup power needs to be there. Right? There are literally, I'm hearing this now, but there are literally places that do power outages on purpose just to see what they need to add in order to keep the business running while the power is out. So I feel that needs to be in, and I feel that will be getting better before Verizon figures out how to stop their bleeding and gain momentum. That's my first hot take. And that'll transition me into the next one, which the reliability piece will help T-Mobile gain more traction on the enterprise side. So for enterprise, these are the things T-Mobile needs to gain the bigger companies. And I think they will get there slowly but surely. But here's what they will need. They will need a very reliable network, for one, that has redundancy beyond just the backup powers. When there's a fiber cut, you need to have density, a lot of density in the network to be able to handle a fiber cut. You need to be able to handle that. And then if not, can you possibly spend to pay for the third party to build additional redundancy for your network just in case of a power outage? Can the traffic be rerouted? Something, right? Can we look into that? And I feel T-Mobile really needs to look after that, especially if they're chasing big enterprise government corporate accounts. So next, indoor solutions. I'm already hearing some rumblings that that's a bigger priority for T-Mobile because they know that's needed to gain bigger enterprise. Like, that might not affect everyone, but like if you're going to the bigger cities, the high skyscrapers, the big buildings, T-Mobile needs to bring DAS systems indoors. That's another big thing for the enterprise. They need to bring that in indoor solution as quickly as they can in order to gain those accounts. Also, some underground stuff, the subways, the trains and stuff, they also need to get DAS systems down there to improve their service. Wherever your competition has service and better service, you need to be able to match if you're wanting to be serious about the enterprise space. And I strongly believe in that. That's been a stronghold for Verizon and AT&T for a long time, so they know what's needed. They know exactly what they need to do, and they have done that for a very long time. So in a lot of these areas, Verizon and AT&T already have adjusted to their partner, whoever it is, right? Corporate account, government account, whatever. And they have built what's necessary to please that customer. T-Mobile hasn't gotten there yet. They're barely getting the 20%, which I feel they could get there comfortably. But going beyond 20% in enterprise, you're talking getting to bigger accounts now that you have to take from Verizon and AT&T. So you have to have everything in order for you to do that. The reliability, the backup power, the redundancy on the fiber. You got to have the indoor solutions. You just have to do it. There's no other way around it. I mean, in some cases, you can bring a tower close enough or closer to be able to handle that indoor traffic. But in a lot of cases, if you're going to start taking big hospitals, big, TV networks on the enterprise side, you're going to have to provide them with indoor DAS systems. That's the only way this works. I can't see any other way unless T-Mobile just completely goes haywire and they pivot towards fiber and they can start putting fiber inside. That's also a possibility. But for right now, I think the way that they do it is they bring indoor solutions. They have to bring the indoor solutions from a wireless mobile perspective. It just brings for a better overall experience for the customer, for the personal and the corporate account or the enterprise account. And that will also help them get personal accounts. If the network is really, really good at the place of business and that, customer sees that, they'll be like, hey, wait a minute, T-Mobile works really, really good. Let me try them out on my personal line. I got AT&T. Let me go ahead and get T-Mobile. They work really well on our enterprise account. So that's another way for T-Mobile to grow their business. Getting indoor solutions going for enterprise. Of course, you got to build redundancy across the board. It doesn't just start with indoor solutions. You got to build more density. They have a ton of density already, but in some cases, it's just never enough. You will always need more density. You will need C-RAN to handle if anything goes out. If anything goes out on that business, you have to have a backup in place, redundancy, whatever, to continue to run and operate. So that's my second hot take. And then my third hot take is I think they exceed anything that comes to small market rural areas. I think they far exceed that by the end of 2024. The network is growing at a rapid pace. They're gaining square miles each and every day. You're seeing that in this article from Pennsylvania. We saw it in Virginia. We saw it in North Carolina. Recently, we had one from Texas where they expanded. Nebraska is growing all natively for the first time. T-Mobile has never had native coverage inside of the state of Nebraska. Never. They have always roamed. Now, that has changed within like the last year and a half. So another year, maybe a little more, they should have a substantially native footprint across the entire state of Nebraska. They may still have some gaps here and there where they're going to use roaming, but I would say at least 80 to 85% of the state of Nebraska by the end of 2024 should be natively covered by T-Mobile using their N71, N25, N41. And of course, that will still be accompanied by some of their LTE bands as well. Band 2, 66, Band 12 will be in there in the mix. But they should have that substantially covered, that entire state, by the end of 2024. So the rural hot take, they exceed anything that they set out for rural by the end of 2024. I don't even think they need to go into 2025. They're at 16.5%, what they publicly stated, percent. They want to get to 20%. The last time they reported, I think, was Q1 or Q2. So 2 quarters passed already in 23. They're likely at 17.1, 17.2, something like that on rural share. And, they're gonna keep growing that very, very quickly through 2024. And all it took was the network. Of course, retail distribution plays a big part, but you needed the network. You needed an extensive network, not only in the small area, but also surrounding. You needed a network footprint to be able to sell your brand and services that many have been maybe wanting for a while just based on your national advertising, but T-Mobile has never existed in those areas. So people have been stuck on Verizon and AT&T paying higher pricing when they could have been taking advantage of the 20% insider discount, free lines here, cheaper fixed wireless access or home broadband. They could have taken advantage of all of that if T-Mobile only had coverage in their area. And now that's beginning to change. They're actually able to bring coverage, and people are lining up at the doors. As soon as there's the ribbon cutting and they do the grand opening of their new stores, people are flocking in. They're coming. They want T-Mobile. It's a great brand. They're changing their perception, percentage over percentage each and every quarter, and it's just working. So the thing is, right, to close out the video on the hot take, to kind of give you a little bit more elaboration on the hot take, the good enough story, right? People keep saying if the network is good enough, it's fine. And I really think that's working for T-Mobile. The good enough approach, because look at Verizon. They're going above and beyond. They are putting strings of fiber along large interstates where people are traveling, and they're getting good speeds, but yet T-Mobile grows the most. And T-Mobile has the lesser of a network out there. I've seen it recently. There was a string of towers that I saw on X where T-Mobile was using microwave backhaul, and they were performing relatively weak versus the spectrum that was on air. But it's good enough. It still would have worked for most. Music would have been streaming. I mean, you're not going to do any TV watching while you're on the road. So as long as you can make a call here and there, receive a call, maybe send a text or few, and stream your music, it's good enough. And I think that's the approach that T-Mobile has taken, and it's working. Look at their churn. Look at how they're growing. Compare that to 2010, 2009, 2011, where T-Mobile actually had a shitty network. They didn't grow. They had better pricing than everyone, but their network was unbearable. They had no low band. They had no CapEx to really grow to any scale. People left them. People left them to pay more because it sucked. It wasn't even good enough. Calling was piss poor. They couldn't give you any service as soon as you got 5 miles outside of your city limits. They sucked. And the churn reflected that. Now, completely different. So make sure you leave all your thoughts in the comments. Look forward to reading them. If you're new, like, share, subscribe. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.